Hi there, Stephen from Promenade Music in Morecambe here today with another video. This time it's the D.EFFECTS Iceberg Overdrive. This is a little overdrive pedal hand built in China, on the same line as the Traveller, the previous pedal we did. And what can I say about it? It sounds incredible. It's a great sounding pedal and hopefully it really comes across in this video. I've had fun playing with it. I found just playing in sort of like two positions with the settings, no matter what clip position you're in. Sounds absolutely amazing. So yeah, sit back and enjoy this. Hopefully I'll be a bit more precise this time. The last video went on a little bit. Right, so let's go over my clean tone to start with, going through the D.EFFECTS Iceberg Overdrive. So this is just the Marshall JMP again, same as the Traveller. Same settings, so this is the clean. Now if we kick in the overdrive, this is everything just straight up in the middle position of the clip, so it's not clip 1, clip 2, just straight down the middle. So already it's got a little bit of kick, it sort of takes off there. So now if we take up the drive, so it's currently at 12 o'clock, if we turn that up to about 9 o'clock, leaving the output and the tone where it is and leaving the clip position. It's got an immediately kick straight up and a nice little volume lift right there. Pedal off. Pedal on. So everything just really thickens up. It gets a lot of nice sustain in there with the drive without becoming too fizzy. It kind of keeps its body without becoming all high-end treble. So now if we roll off the drive, so we've knocked that down to about 9 o'clock now instead of 3 o'clock. So we've gone polar opposite, leaving the tone where it is, and we'll mess about with the output. So that's with the pedal off, pedal on. So by taking the drive down, it takes a little bit of that attack, a little bit of drive off just the general clean. But if I put the output volume up to about 3, so the gain and the output are now facing each other, the drive and the output. So that's really thickened up the sound there just by adding a bit more output. Taking off the drive, it's filled in a bit more mid, a bit more bottom end without getting fizzy. It just really balances everything quite nicely. So if I pop everything back up to 12 again, we'll go to the clip position 1. So this is overdrive pedal on, everything facing up, clip position in the middle. Pedal off. So that's just the amp, and I'll put it in clip position 1, and then re-engage the pedal where everything is still up at 12 o'clock, except we're now engaged in clip position 1. Turn the pedal off again. Put it back into the middle position of the clip. There's just that little bit more tightness to it because the clip's sort of taken away a little bit the amplitude of some frequencies there, so it sort of clumps it a little bit tighter, a little bit neater together. So we put it back in the middle again, so it's a bit broad. just kind of reined it in a little bit, become a bit more of a classic overdrive. So we'll sort of see the middle. Clip position 1. So it's just that, almost like that, a little bit older, more clean sort of feeling. So if we mess about with the drive there, take the drive up and leave everything else pointing up at 12. So clip position 1. And it's doing that thing where it's got that little bit of extra crisp now, but it's got that wonderful thing about really nice overdrive pedals that you can hit a chord and you can hear every note in the chord. It's just a sign of a good pedal immediately. If you can hear every single note in a chord without it being too muffled, it's going to sound great no matter where you've got it set. So now let's swap round like we did earlier. Knock the drive down. Pedal off. Now we turn the pedal back on. So almost sounds like the pedal's off, just with a little bit less volume. So if we put the output up to 3 o'clock, so now the drive and output are facing each other again into the middle of the pedal. That's with the pedal off. So it's very clear, you can hear all the notes, but it's just a little bit not quite held together. Whereas if you just introduce that little bit of a boost, everything's just that little bit tighter, brings it all together, all the lower frequencies sort of are introduced a little bit there, hitting the front end of the amp that little bit harder. It just sort of brings it, everything that little bit clearer. So now if we put everything back to 12, go back to our middle position. Turn the pedal off again. And now we'll try clip position 2. So, pedal off. Clip position 2. A little bit darker of an overdrive, not quite as bright and frilly, and this will be good for those amps. Sort of say if you're playing through a Fender amp clean or anything a bit tweedy, it'll help just take a little bit of the brightness off there, bring through a little bit more bottom end for that sort of fuller sounding overdrive. And this is with everything just set straight up at 12 o'clock. I haven't touched the tone yet. It's just balanced quite nicely through the amp, this pedal. Drives up at 12 o'clock, outputs up at 12. And it really does sort of give like the late 70s sort of thicker distortion, where things were starting to get that little bit more compressed in the studio. And the sustain this pedal gives out as well. So if I just turn it off and just hit an E, it's starting just to frazzle out a little bit on some frequencies. If I knock the pedal in, everything's just staying there that little bit stronger, which is really nice to hear. So it makes me think of that late 70s, early 80s sort of AC/DC kind of sound for, you know, sort of. Just really full, really carries itself really well. That's so I can get a thumbnail, love. So I can get a thumbnail.